Hey everyone, oh god. Just a quick update before we start the podcast here. You're going to notice some simplicity with this podcast because I've kind of painted myself into a corner with it. Yeah, the last three videos I edited together these sort of these videos out of still images, and I'm going to have to stop doing that. One, because I just don't have the time. For a 2-hour podcast, it takes about 4 hours to edit that together. And then the second reason is because I just don't want to deal with this copyright issue. A lot of people are getting their channels flagged for inappropriate use of stuff, and these game companies like Sega, which are really fucking stupid, are going after YouTubers for using copyrighted images. So I just want to avoid the whole issue, and I'm not going to be able to edit together those wild videos like I used to. I actually sat down with this one and tried it, and I just couldn't muster up the enthusiasm, and I just couldn't do it. It's really labor intensive to download all those pictures and then edit them in. And I'm very OCD. I have to have it match the conversation, and it got to be a little too much. So, this video is going to have, or this podcast is just going to have the lovely logo that Steven designed for us on, Paint one day while he was at work. And then what we want to do is we want to open it up to you guys. And, I know a lot of you guys out there are really good with Photoshop and things like that. And, we just want to see if any of the viewers, wanted to make a, logo for us. Couldn't think of the word. If we have multiple people that want to do that, that's fine, because, we can just rotate them, every other podcast or something. So, we're just looking for something, kind of simple, kind of clean, professional looking. Just says Another Gaming Podcast on it. Nothing too flashy. But if you want to make some flash, that's fine. But if you're interested in doing that for us, write a little message on the either on this video or just PM us or something like that. PM the podcast or something. And we'll get in touch with you. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you're wondering why this looks so crappy, because I had to fucking record it on my damn web camera on my laptop, because, for some reason Windows Movie Maker doesn't like MP4s. So, take that, Windows Movie Maker. But anyway, that is pretty much it, for the update. So, if you enjoyed, all the pictures and everything I put on the videos, which I figure most people, just listen to the audio anyway, so not a big deal. But, sorry. But, anyway, guys, here is episode 5 of Another Gaming Podcast with our special guest, Ballin Nick. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Another Gaming Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Dustin Crace. Joining me is my fellow co-host, Steven, the Laggy Gamer.
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back for another episode.
And joining us again is our special guest, very special guest, because originally he was going to be our third person on this podcast. We have none other than Ballin Nick 1982.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
It's it's been like a year. When did we do this? When did we do that first recording? Was it like February or March?
I think it was after that.
Was it after that?
I can't remember. It's been a while.
Maybe we were talking about it since then, because for some reason February or March sticks. I think maybe it was June when we finally got things going. Maybe not.
Yeah, I actually just opened up a conversation, like an old text conversation, and I think it was back in June.
Back in June. Wow. Yeah.
Don't you love how that stupid messaging system is on YouTube? How, oh wow, this is from back in June. Why is it still here?
Yeah.
It's such a great system.
We can talk about that in a second. But, so Nick, it's finally, it's good to have you back here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a long time. Yeah, I was really busy these past few weeks,
It's
or
felt
months.
like years. It's been so long.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. It's been crazy busy.
Yeah. Oh, I hear that
And
because I feel like I have no time to do anything.
yeah,
Adulthood sucks.
yeah, I've gotten lazier and lazier with this job. I mean, like the holidays have been killing me. I just don't even want to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you made the time to be with us today and finally get an episode with you. I was going to start doing like a thing like Jimmy Kimmel. We tried to get Nick on here this week, but we just don't have enough time for him. So we'll get him next episode. Then finally get you on and cut you off. So it was good being here, Nick. We'll talk to you some other time.
Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, jeez.
Hey, I can't wait till the holiday season comes around and my son's old enough to give him a half-eaten sandwich for Christmas and then turn it into Jimmy Kimmel show.
Oh, this kid's gonna have a terrible life.
Let's get this started with the big questions for Nick to start it off. Nick, favorite game?
Uh-oh.
Go for it.
Favorite game?
Favorite game?
I'd have to say Resident Evil, the original one on the PS1. As of right now, I keep it kind of flip flops, but that's kind of like been my favorite game for the longest time. I love everything about it, and I've had like a huge history with it. You know, back when I bought it when I was like a teenager. You know, and I just fell in love with it when I first played it. It was something I've never played before. You know, just walking around in this mansion and exploring these rooms and not being able to go into them, and you just keep wondering like what's behind that door, and then finally get that key like later on in the game, and I just couldn't wait to see like what was behind these doors because everything was so weird, and I just loved it. And then I would try to do like these little I don't know, I try to see how long it would take for me to beat the game, and I think I could do like a speed run and just beat it in a few hours. But yeah, it's just such an amazing game in my opinion. And it's kind of dated, but graphics don't mean anything to me though.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with it.
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Well, we can edit that out because what he really meant to say was Resident Evil 2. He didn't mean to say Resident Evil 1. But anyways, you can't go wrong with any Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 2 was good, but I like the first one.
Now, would you say the remake is what you would prefer to play these days other than the original? Or do you still go back to the original if you'd want to replay it?
I'd probably go back to the original, but the remake is one of the best remakes I've played. I mean, the fact that they added, they kept the same formula, but the graphics still hold up. So I mean, if I had to recommend one, I'd probably recommend that one because I know a lot of people out there, are graphic horrors, but
yeah,
I mean, the game still holds up to this day, and they added a lot more stuff, a lot more rooms, and I mean, it's one of the better remakes that I've played.
Gorgeous remake. I loved it.
What
were you going to ask him before, Dustin?
Oh, I mean, I was going to ask about the remake, if he, prefers the remake or if he prefers the original. Because I can see preferring the original because of the nostalgia, the bad voice acting and things like that. But I think I'd have to pick. Well, I would pick 2 because I prefer 2. But I would pick the remake over the original because I think it took everything that the first game was and then just knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was so much creepier.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, are you one of those guys, Nick, who, like, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, but I still can't go through and do, like, those 2-hour speed runs and stuff. You think you could do that stuff? Do you have the first one down like that, or you wouldn't be able to do anything like that?
Not anymore. When I can't do it in 3 hours. I think it took me, like, 3.5, but that was, like, a while ago. Yeah. Like, when I first got the game, and I was playing the game, like, over and over. Nowadays, I probably forgot a lot of stuff. I mean, it's been probably 10 years since I've even played it, really.
Okay. Question 2 then. Favorite movie. I get the triple whammy here. You got to answer favorite movie next.
Favorite movie, man.
A Christmas Story 2, the official sequel.
God, man. I can't believe, man.
Did you see that trailer, Nick? Did you see it?
Yeah, it was like the most awful thing I've ever seen.
I
don't know how. Why would they even bother making a sequel to that movie and make it that crappy? I don't understand.
I wonder if they made it like years ago, like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and they've just been sitting on it. Because that kind of stuff happens, where they'll make movies and they'll just sit on them for years and then finally release them.
I don't know, but I'm not even gonna watch it.
I gotta watch it because it's gonna be really bad, and I just have to see how bad it is. And I don't know. It's just one of those things where it kind of looks like they're making fun of themselves in it. I mean, come on. I don't think they're taking it serious in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like they just took a lot of stuff from the first one and just copied and pasted it onto the second one and tried to make it funnier, but it's not working. I mean,
Instead of 24 hours of a Christmas story, you're gonna get like they're gonna go back and forth. The first and second ones back to back for 24 hours.
I think it would be funny if they would play one block of the movie. They just put the second one in, and everyone just just to piss everyone off.
yeah.
That'd be funny. Like 3 a.m. like some stoner sitting there like, let's watch this movie. What the fuck?
I mean, I've never seen a movie trailer get that many dislikes.
It was, oh my! It was like a full red bar. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So do you have an answer for us, or what? What do you think it would be?
I'm gonna go ahead and say The Thing. I mean, I love that movie. I mean, like off the top of my head, I'm just gonna go ahead and say The Thing.
What about the remake? What'd you think about that?
I liked it. I mean, it was more of a
Okay.
Yeah, it was more of a prequel, but I mean, it was still great. I thought. I mean, they kind of stuck with the same formula, and I don't know. I don't know why everybody really hated it. I mean, it was one of those mixed opinion movies, but a lot of people just bashed the hell out of it, and I'm not sure why. I mean, to me, I thought it stuck to, the same formula that John Carpenter did. They didn't butcher it in any way, so I enjoyed it.
I've actually never seen it. What about you, Dustin? Were you into those type?
I've never seen either the original or the remake. It's one of those things that I've always known about it, but I've just never, like, the opportunity has never presented itself, I guess.
Which I'm glad we're on topic of horror movies now. I know it's Christmas season, but I've always had to ask Nick because I think like most of the movies he likes are the dumbest movies ever made. Like horror movies like Saw and everything. I think they're so stupid. But what's the thrill of watching these type of movies? I think I can watch. Okay, I'll give you this. I really like House on Haunted Hill and the remake one with Chris Kattan and everything. For some reason, I think that movie's awesome. But nothing else. I just cannot get into any of them. They seem like a joke to me, just a big joke.
The Saw movies, I only liked the first couple, and then after that, it just got ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm more into like the lesser known ones, like a lot of the B movies and stuff. And I don't know, like I've grown up watching horror movies. Like my dad used to always. I mean, as weird as it sounds, he used to always want me to rent horror movies when I was a kid. He was always like that's why I like the movie The Thing.
Yeah.
I was like a little 9-year-old kid, and he's like, oh yeah, Nick, check out this movie, it's pretty cool. It's like it's kind of a gory movie, and I didn't really know why he wanted me watching this, but it just did. And I used to rent all the not Friday the 13th, but the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which are really corny, but I always enjoyed them growing up. And I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of discovering a lot of more like hidden gems, I guess, but they are corny. I mean, they're not. A lot of them aren't that great. A lot of them are really disturbing, and a lot of them are, they're kind of the same thing over and over again. Like the slasher movies are just kind of all the same. But I guess it just depends on the characters and whatever, like the kill scenes. I mean, a lot of it's just entertainment. I mean, a lot of them aren't even that good. It's just entertainment.
I think that's what I'm like signaling down to, like slasher movies, because stuff like the Jason and everything, it's just like it seems so stupid. Like how do these people keep getting killed? Are they idiots? And it really ticks me off to watch them. But like I can get down. Like I really like movies like Pandorum, that type of horror stuff. I'm really into that kind of stuff. But
Event
like any
Horizon.
type of slasher thing, people just run around like idiots.
Nick, have you ever seen?
You now own it.
Nick, have you ever seen the Sleepaway Camp movies?
I saw the first one, and I wasn't a huge fan of it.
Really? Oh, when you get to the ending, it's like, oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty silly. It was weird.
We had my friends
really
and I.
threw me off.
We had a movie marathon where we were drinking and watching these because I mean they're admittedly ridiculous movies, and the drunker we got, like the better it got. Like as we moved, because the second and the third ones are more of those horror comedy ones, where the first one's kind of more of a straight slasher. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about the sleepaway camps. I always enjoy it. Watch that.
Yeah,
Sleepaway camps.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the sorority house, like camp girls, like the naked movie, or what? Or is that a totally different thing?
You might be thinking something else.
Okay. I used to work at Blockbuster and I always walked by like it was this DVD with nothing but sorority girls on the front out in the camp. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna admit, like I don't like Friday the 13th. I've always thought those movies were extremely boring because it's the same kills over and over again. He hits somebody in the head with an axe and that's how they die. Every single person. I mean, there's really no creativity towards it.
Yeah.
that stuff can get kind of boring. Nowadays they're kind of making them a little bit more gory, and I don't know why. I like gory movies, not like realistic like torture type stuff. Even though there's some exceptions, but I'm not into like the whole realistic stuff. There's like movies that are solely based on like like real things that have happened that are like really disturbing, and that kind of stuff kind of makes my stomach turn.
Yeah.
But if it's just like something that's obviously for entertainment, and then I could I could get into it. But if it has to be done right, like I said, Jason was never something that I cared about that much.
See, I would watch him. My friend, I think, and not to get too far into this, but I think one time he rented Jeepers Creepers, either whichever one had Justin Long in it, and Jason X. I think that's the one in space, right?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. And he's like, trust me, just watch them because they'll be the funniest movies you've ever seen. And he was not lying. It was the funniest stuff I've ever seen, especially that Jason X one. This dude running around in a shag-rug vest for a shirt. It was excellent comedy, but I don't understand why people want it for that. But you know what? It's okay that me and Nick disagree on movies. I still like him as a person. And I don't know. I'm starting to think of Grub Gun's new video, "Do What Makes You Happy" or whatever it's called.
Whatever you do is awesome.
Whatever you do is awesome. I'm not going to spam his channel because we disagree on something like a Resident Evil 6 or anything. I even linked Nick's video discussion to Resident Evil 6. Like, listen, different point of view. Go check it out. You don't got to hate on each other, people. Love. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Jeez. Isn't there one more question with the triple whammy?
Yes, there is. What his favorite music/band
Recording artist.
Recording artist, yes. He corrected it last time. Recording artist.
Oh god. That's almost impossible for me to answer. There's so many. The thing is like I have to go back and listen to like older music. I can't listen to anything nowadays.
Same here.
Because I listen to mostly like rap music, like underground rap and old school.
I was going to say, do we have to change the genre if you want to just do a rap artist?
Rap artist is a recording artist, Steven.
True. Saying, okay, decide.
Yeah, I don't know.
Decide from a rock group or anything. Dude,
just say Wu-Tang and we'll be done.
I can't do that.
Yeah, not a Wu-Tang
guy. They're okay. I don't know, man. I mean, there's a rapper named Spice One who I've always liked. I wouldn't say he's like my all-time favorite, but he was up there. So, but I do like a lot of rock music. I mean, I liked like Soundgarden.
Okay.
A lot of older 90s
just don't say
stuff.
50 Cent for rappers. Just don't say nothing like that.
I hate 50 Cent.
Okay.
I hate him.
But he got shot 9 times. Come on.
I'm actually gonna do a video one of these days, just ranting about music nowadays, and people are they're gonna love it or hate it, but I gotta do it.
I think you'll get a lot of love. I don't think you got many 10-year-olds watching your channel, so I think you'll get a lot of love.
Speaking about music nowadays, there was a big shakeup on YouTube. Did you guys catch this news?
No.
Justin Bieber has been ousted as the #1 viewed video on YouTube.
Well, that can't happen.
The new #1 is that damn Gangnam Style song. This is the state of popular music when Justin Bieber and Gangnam Style are #1 and 2.
Listen, that song is catchy, Dustin. It is very catchy.
Don't do it, Steven.
Even though I don't know how to say the words, the video is hilarious. That's why it's a funny video. I'll give it that. It's hilarious.
I know. We all love watching portly Koreans dance around like idiots.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is like music nowadays. It's all gimmicks. I mean, there's no creativity anymore. It's all gimmicks, and they're trying to be funny. They're trying to be. I don't know. It's stupid. I can't stand it.
I still think Bieber's a girl. He's got to be a woman. There's no way that is a man. But
well, the worst thing that ever happened to me was about 3 weeks ago when I found out that I actually liked the Justin Bieber song.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Nick, don't do it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was him when it was on the radio, and then I searched it on YouTube, and his name pops up. I'm like, oh god, you got to be kidding me.
No.
Yeah, like I actually got that feeling in my heart, like no, this can't be happening.
All right, so we'll just go with Spice One. That could be your answer. Spice One, favorite recording artist.
Sorry, there was a little cutout there. Was it Spice Girls?
Spice Girls, yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that one, Spice Girls. Anyways, Dustin, do we want to go into Mind Eater's question, then talk about the benzo thing off of that to lead this off?
Let's go ahead and
Discussion?
let's go ahead and talk about the Mine Eater 100's question.
Okay.
Who Mine Eater 100 is like consistently always asking questions on the comments, guys. If you listen to us and you like us, write some questions in the comments because we want to answer some listener questions. So make sure you write us some questions in the comments.
Yes. You want to go ahead and read it? What do
Go
you
ahead.
want? No, you read it.
Oh. Well, basically, I don't have it right in front of me, but basically, he just wanted to know what our favorite Sega franchise was. And I think, if I know correctly from all of us, we're all Nintendo kids. So this is going to be interesting.
Well, I'll pretty much get mine out the way, and I'm not even going to try to answer it because I don't have many Sega made games except for Sonic, and I don't want to be that guy just because that generic answer of a Sonic game. So, man, I really have no idea what I would say. Everything in mine says Nintendo. Nothing says Atlas. I mean, nothing says Atlas. Nothing says Sega. I'm really drawing a blank here. What to say for that? I'd want to say Shenmue, but did Sega develop that one?
Yeah, that's actually my answer, is Shenmue.
Well, I wanted to say it, but I've never actually completed the game all the way through, so I feel like it's cheating to say it. But so I'm not gonna give an answer. I'm sorry. I'll say Sonic. I gotta go Sonic.
I've already kind of given my answer, so yeah, I'm going to say Shenmue because I think if you play the game, you're going to see how much it really influenced, for better and worse, a lot of modern gaming. Like the whole QuickTime thing. If I remember correctly, Shenmue introduced QuickTime events.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's the first time it really came to sort of prominence, I think. But just the cinematicness of it, and I'm playing Deadly Premonition right now, and you can just see the influence of Shenmue in everything that's in that game.
Oh yeah, you can in that one.
And Shenmue, I really think it influenced like the Grand Theft Autos because of all the crazy, stupid side quest stuff. I mean, it kind of was. I'm really trying to struggle to think here, but I think it might have been like the first type of sandbox style game where you could go do the storyline, or you can go into like an arcade and play Hang On for a while. It's very basic compared to a lot of the games that were inspired by it. But when you go back to it, you see it, you're like, wow, this is actually a really awesome experience that was kind of ahead of its time.
I was say, yeah, but if you're going to go by open world, then there's a lot of open world stuff, like the original GTAs and stuff. But
but
as far as being,
that was with the overhead perspective and everything. But like to really
full
drop
on 3D,
full on 3D to really drop you in the town and feel like you're a part of the town and make you do stupid things like have a job. Like in Deadly Premonition where you have to eat and you have to sleep and you have to clean your clothes and things like that. It's just stupid little things that a lot of people gripe and complain about, but I actually kind of like in some weird way. I don't know why, but that's my answer is Shenmue.
Well, I will say, just to narrow it more down, like franchise, I just said Sonic. But if I had to pick a game, I'd pick Sonic Adventure. But I kind of want to know why. I mean, Sonic Adventure is pretty much praised. Like, people really like that one. How come Sonics that came out after it got so much hate when they kind of seemed like they were the same type of game? I don't understand. It seemed like the same type of gameplay as Sonic Adventure, yet they were really getting ragged on for being bad. I don't really understand that, but just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I think like it's because Sega, I don't know, like with Nintendo when they do a Mario game, they keep everything that's kind of core of Mario, and then they just kind of add a new thing on, like with Mario Galaxy with the pointer and the gravity and things like that. But with like Sonic, it's like every game they just kind of completely either redo it or completely forget what made Sonic Sonic.
Yeah.
In some ways. So I mean,
okay.
But if you haven't played Sonic Colors, you should go play Sonic Colors. That's pretty awesome.
Like putting Sonic with the sword and Sonic in the Black Knight.
Dark Brotherhood or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all right, Nick, what would yours be for Sega franchise?
And it's the same thing. Like I never really grew up playing Sega. Like I'm just over the past few years is when I just started discovering the Sega. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with that Sonic answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm horrible at the games too. I'm terrible at them. But yeah, I guess that's my answer.
Hey, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. We like Sonic. There's nothing wrong with liking Sonic.
No way, man. Mario World's better.
I'm trying to see if was the Streets of Rage. Who developed those?
Sega.
Well, there you go. That's another good.
Okay, wait, that's my
franchise.
favorite.
And Shining Force and Phantasy Star. Those were Sega.
Oh,
Sure.
wait. Okay, Phantasy Star. I played the first one,
Yeah.
and I loved it.
Sega.
I like the first-person dungeon crawling in that. I think it made the dungeons a lot harder. And then, like, the second one where you're just kind of overhead perspective, it wasn't as, I don't know.
Yeah, the dungeons in that game were really easy to get lost in.
Because everything looked the same.
Yeah, but amazing game though.
Yeah, I think Sega's one of those things. I think like even like Sega kids maybe didn't fully understand what they had, because when I remember back to people who played Sega, it was like sports games and like this quote unquote bloody games. You know what I mean? Like that's what Sega's kind of bread and butter was. And that's the kind of people that had Sega. But like nowadays, whenever people talk about Sega, they always talk about like Shining Force and those types of things. So it's kind of interesting how the perception has kind of changed over the years.
True. Speaking of Shining Force,
Oh,
is that the one he got busted with?
that's the one he got busted. Well, the Shining series.
Shining series, and that lead us into another thing I want to talk about. That was Nick's good buddy Zabenzo8686. Is that his full name?
Yeah.
Pretty much getting strikes on his account for filming game footage of Sega's games, Shining Force, and pretty much giving him free advertising, and yet they're like hammering him with these strikes against his account, and he could lose his account because of this stuff. I mean, what do you guys think about this thing? I mean, is it right or?
Well, has Sega been? Because I read somewhere in the comments where somebody thought he was getting hit by a scam, and has Sega been hitting out on other accounts as well? Does anyone know?
And I know Nick, you've been talking to him, so what have you gotten from him, like really with all this?
Well, I think some people were leaving comments saying that they were, I don't remember who, but somebody said that they were going after other people too. Okay. But a lot of people are saying that it could be like a troll. I don't know, but yeah, the whole thing is ridiculous. So
yeah, because if Sega's really doing this, they gotta be fucking stupid. Because I mean, look at how like the whole Napster thing happened. Like, it's like the people that buy your products, you're turning on them. You know. Mm-hmm. He's given. I mean, I know they're not maybe making money on like Shining games anymore, but those things are for sale on like the Virtual Console and on Steam. And Sega's still making money off those. So for someone to get on YouTube and share their passion about it and say, hey, go out and get this game, and then to say, but don't show game footage and don't play the music, that's really fucking stupid.
Well, yeah.
And I think
know a lot of.
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was just to say, like, a lot of people are getting hit with these copyright strikes. Even like Konami hit somebody with I think it was 9-Volt Games for his Silent Hill 2 review or something, like about the voice acting. And again, it was him giving the game very high praise. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, these companies, they're just going after people for the dumbest reasons. These people are talking good about the games, again, like free advertising, telling people to go out and buy these games, and they're getting their videos pulled because of it. And Benzo, again, we're talking about a game that's like 20 plus years old, or almost 20 years old. Maybe they're not making money on the physical copies, but like Dustin said, on the virtual consoles and stuff, people might want to buy it, because of Benzo's video.
I think the only thing we could get from it too is though, like, he has ads on there. Maybe just because he's running ads, making a little bit of profit possibly from it. And I don't know about this other guy you said if he runs that. I know some other guys, the video game sellers. I know you watch them, Nick. Even he said he had a strike and he just got his removed because of some gameplay footage, but he also runs ads. So I'm wondering if you're partnered up, then you put yourself on a different level to get scrutinized, maybe with these ads and everything.
Well, did Benzo have ads on his? Because I don't know if he does.
I want to say he did.
Because I remember he used to be a partner, and he actually got his partnership taken away because somebody click-bombed him.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think he ever tried to deal with. I'm not sure. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think somebody else asked him, like, did you have, are your videos monetized? And he said no.
Well, that makes no sense then. You shouldn't be getting strikes for something if you're not trying to monetize it. I don't understand it then.
Well, I don't even
Yeah,
understand. I don't even understand the copyright infringement because I mean, these are games. You're supposed to play them, and
Right.
like it's not like putting music on there where you're just listening to the music. Like I understand that, or a movie, but with putting a game like gameplay footage on YouTube, you're taking away the core thing that it is. Like the reason why we play these games is to play them, not to watch somebody else play them. You know, we watch
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
play them to sort of get a feel for it and see if we would like it. So I mean, it seems like there's a key piece of, I don't know the correct word, but there's a key piece of the puzzle that's missing here. Like if he was,
Right.
you know, if he was ROM dumping, then I get it, okay? But
Mhm.
you know, it's just a video of him playing a game. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, because of that, it's not like, you know, he didn't just get 2 videos taken down. He had to go back and take down every video that had gameplay footage that, you know, was related to Sega.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, who knows? Another company can do the same thing. You know, somebody from
Level 5.
Mono- yeah, that would be a heartbreaker for him. 'Cause
It would
His
be.
channel
a
would be
huge
done.
Level 5 fan. Yeah.
But that stinks knowing that you can't talk about some of your favorite stuff, or I don't know, maybe one day we won't be allowed to talk about it anymore. They're gonna shut that down. You can't even talk
Yeah.
about a game.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. You hold a gameplay or a game case, and then you get your video flagged.
Gonna have to start putting censor bars over game cases.
Yeah, blanking out the name of the name when you say it. You have to bleep it out, so nobody knows what you're talking about.
Everything will be digital anyway, so we're not gonna have anything to hold up. But
That's
But-
why I've never done gameplay footage. Like I've always been worried about. I've always been worried about putting music and any type of gameplay footage on my channel because of that. You know, because I don't want to have my videos taken down because some retard can't accept the fact that I'm saying good things about their games, or even if it was negative, who cares? It's my opinion. But you know, it's effort that I'm putting into these videos. If it's my time to have it taken down, it would piss me off.
which is crazy because all the Call of Duty videos and stuff up there, I mean, they never get anything against
Oh,
them, and
Yeah,
that's
you
straight
would
up
think
gameplay.
a company like Activision would be like all over that shit.
You
Yeah.
think, yeah, but I mean, people make a living off that stuff with the millions of viewers and stuff, and Activision
Yeah.
gives them free early copies of the game, so they don't really care, I guess. And it's
I guess-
surprising hearing that Sega did this, and I don't know if there's been issues with like Capcom doing it first, with all the heat they've been getting with stuff like this. Like they weren't the first ones to strike somebody down and someone report them first, but maybe they have. I don't know.
Well, I think Capcom's dumb, but I don't think they're that dumb. I mean, Sega is like, Sega is like financially strapped. Like they are on the way to be, you know, on the way to oblivion, basically. And it's like people are out there spreading word of mouth about your product, and it's like, oh, you stop that. Don't help us out.
Yeah.
We want to fail.
Yeah, that makes
We-
sense.
We failed with the Dreamcast, buddy. We're gonna fail with this too. So
Well, it's dumb because they've done nothing with the series, and I don't know. I guess I heard that they're coming out with a new one or something, a new Shining game. I don't know if I heard that right or not, but they've done nothing with their series or with that series or with a lot of their games.
well, Shining.
So like, who cares?
Shining has continued in Japan. There's a bunch of Shining games over there.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, there's a bunch that we never got. So I mean, it's still pretty big in Japan, but yeah, they let it die over here.
I was gonna say, since we're on the topic of Shining, I was watching a GBA card the other day on eBay, a Shining Soul. Does anyone know if that's an RPG or if that's any different?
I think it
anyone's
is part of
familiar with
it's
Shining?
part of the series, but I don't know if it's like because the Shining series. I mean, it kind of covers strategy games, RPGs, dungeon crawlers. So I don't know. It's an RPG, but I don't know what subgenre of RPGs it would be.
Because I've watched some footage that looked kind of more like a dungeon crawler, and I didn't know if those were bad games, the dungeon crawler types for Shining, or if they're good or not.
Like Benzo liked Shining in the Darkness, and that's a dungeon crawler one, right? Shining in the Darkness.
I'm not sure. I'm not real familiar with them.
I can't remember. I think it is. I think it's the dungeon crawler one. Because I know there's a Shining Wisdom. Maybe that's the dungeon crawler one that's on the. I can't remember.
Yeah, that one's like the more Zelda looking one,
Oh, okay.
like the action. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and then
But,
there's Shining in the Holy Ark. I think that one's like a first-person dungeon crawler.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay. But Benzo, we wish you the best, man. If you listen to this, we hope you, even if they do shut your channel down, I mean, make another one because we'll come. Like I
Yeah.
said, if you build it, we will come and we'll support you, man.
Yeah, he said that he's probably not that he won't like quit making videos. That he would still come back, which is good to hear because a lot of people would just stop.
Yeah.
There are certain people there. I'm gonna do like a full on 10 or 15 minute shout out video, and he's gonna be one of those one that's right up there. Who, when he makes a video, I make sure I try to watch it. He's one I always constantly check his channel to make sure I'm not missing something because YouTube will screw up your updates sometimes, and I want to make sure I don't miss a Benzo video because they're great. That's great stuff he puts on his channel.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's just like you said, he's one of those people that as soon as I see a video, I have to watch it like right away.
Yeah. All right, Dustin, what do you want to move into next?
Hold on, I'm chewing on a Baby Ruth.
We can either go into
Baby
games we've been
Ruth?
playing, or we can do our little topic for the night.
Why don't we do games we've been playing,
Okay.
and then that'll lead into, because I have a feeling it'll kind of lead into with a certain
Alright.
game that you and I have been playing, Steven.
Okay, no problem. Nick, we'll start with you, man. What you been playing?
Well, I just started playing 999 again because I got one of the bad endings like a year ago when I first played it, and then when I heard that Virtue's Last Reward was out, I wanted to go back and get finish the first game and get all the endings and get the true ending. So I haven't got all the endings yet, but I got like 3 of them, and I love it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna do some kind of review on it because it's just one of those games that I think that a lot of people should play, even if it doesn't really appeal to them. Because I was one of those people that couldn't really think of sitting down and reading, like playing like a novel type game or one of those, a game where you have to read a lot. It just never appealed to me. But when I heard about like the content that was in it and how descriptive it was, I had to play it, and I love it.
Well, cool. Yeah,
So
one of those. That's one of those. Sorry to interrupt you. It's one of those games. I believe Dustin, because he had just picked it up, did his video on it, said it's a must-play type of game.
Yeah.
I don't know, just something with multiple endings really kind of detracts me sometimes from wanting to play a game. And I know they're not too long to beat, but it's just, man, I really don't want to have to go through this and watch 6 different endings, and it seems kind of tedious. I'd like to do one and be happy with my conclusion. But the way like Nick was saying, he's like, he got a bad ending, that wouldn't make me happy with my conclusion, and I'd have to play it again.
The great thing about it,
like,
oh, go ahead, Nick.
Well, I was gonna say like the bad endings are actually like all the endings are cool. Like whether they're bad or good, they're all like they're kind of screwed up. I mean, so they're always entertaining to watch. Mm-hmm. It is kind of tedious going through the game over again, but you can skip a lot of the text that you've already seen. But the endings are awesome. Like I wish I could just watch the endings because I've already seen a lot. I mean, there's little pieces of dialogue that you're gonna miss out on, or that you're gonna see like new dialogue throughout each playthrough. But the endings are awesome though. I mean, even if it's a bad one, I mean they're just really screwed up, and that's what this game is. It's a really demented, screwed up, like psychological type of game, and each ending will kind of mess with you, and that's what's kind of great about it.
Okay.
So let me share something with you, Steven, because you're talking about not wanting to see all those endings again. I'm currently holding a copy of Virtue's Last Reward in my hand, and I'm looking on the back of it. Plenty of replayability with 24 different endings.
Holy donut shop. Good night.
Yeah. So, if you thought 999 was bad.
Wow. Because even like when I played through a Nier, and I wanted to be like an achievement whore on that one and go get all the endings, which I did. That wasn't too bad because you could fly through the second part of that game really quickly. Yeah. And the story kind of changed somewhat a lot in between each story playthrough, so it was fun. And I like the soundtrack and everything, so it's easy to play through and just chill and listen to the music. But going through a game, man, 24 times, that would seem way overboard. Way overboard. But man, anything else? Just 999 or?
No, I actually started up Mass Effect 2.
Sweet. First time?
I felt that was a game I should have played like 2 years, like a year and a half ago. I mean, I was planning on it too because I beat the first one for the second time a year ago, or it was part of my summer backlog actually. Not this past summer, but the one before that, and I was going to play Mass Effect 2 right afterwards.
You're right, I remember that. I remember that video.
Yeah, and I never did it, so I just finally picked it up like probably 3-4 days ago, and yeah, I'm loving it. Like I have a friend that I grew up with that's been like hounding me to play this game for like the last 2 years. So I finally started playing it. And I love it. There's certain parts of it that I wish that they would have brought back in the first one, like the exploring the planets, like actually being able to explore the planets. But I think that like the character development and just the characters and the design of the games is better than the first one so far. I'm only like 9 hours in, but yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, I love Mass Effect 2. I like felt to me like the combat improved a lot over the first one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I really enjoyed that part of it, and I think, man, I put in a little over 50 hours playing that game, and love Mass Effect 2. Still haven't played Mass Effect 3. I actually have it because I forgot the story how I got it. I remember I got it for dirt cheap or even for free, but I still haven't put it in yet. Mass Effect 3. So
yeah, I need
finish
to
the
pick that one
trilogy
up still, but
I do. So we'll be seeing
That's
a
pretty
Mass
much-
Effect 2 discussion video pretty soon then or later on.
I might just like after I beat the third one, I might just do, like full series review or something.
Cool. That'd be an awesome
But
video.
yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing for the most part.
2 games, nice. Been watching any movies
Yeah.
or something lately, or just all work?
I've been working my ass off, but I mean, there's a few games that I've like I beat Forza Horizon before I started Mass Effect 2. I don't know. A lot of people don't really talk about racing games that much, so I don't really talk too much about them. But I love them, depending on like how they're done. If it's just like a simple like arcadey racing game, kind of like in an open world, kind of like the old Need for Speed games, and like the new Forza game. I love those, and I actually finished that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm in a racing kick right now. I really wanted to pick up a racing game, and it was between the Need for Speed Most Wanted, the new one, but I wanted to see someone's thoughts on that, see if that was any good, because I really enjoyed the other Most Wanted game.
Yeah.
So
I was actually going to pick that one up. I went to the store. I went to Best Buy to go pick up Most Wanted, and I was like, no, I'll pick up Forza because I already beat the original Most Wanted, and I kind of want to. I beat it on the Xbox though, because now I kind of want to go back and beat it on the 360 because I actually traded in my Xbox version and just upgraded to the 360 one, and I kind of want to finish that one first and then get the new one. So I figured I'd try something different and get Forza, and I'm glad I made that choice because it was really fun. There's a lot of stuff to do in it.
is it more, so you said it is more arcadey, because most of the time they're simulators, right? But you said that's more arcade style this time?
Yeah, this one's, it's, a lot more arcade. It's not really a simulator like the Forza games or like the original ones or, Gran Turismo. It's more along the lines of, like a Need for Speed Most Wanted, but you don't have cops chasing you around, but, it's like an open world and you just do like a lot of street races and stuff like that.
Which my favorite Need for Speed has been the Need for Speed Underground, probably the second one that came out, and I haven't found one to meet my needs since then, but I get in a little kick every once in a while where I really want to try a racing game and get one, and I think I want to give Most Wanted a try because I wanted to rebuy the original like you said, but even for the 360 that fetches a good price. It's so hard to find.
It is. I paid $35 for it, I think.
I think that's what it's going for now, like in the 30s still. It's had it and let it go. But do you play much racing games, Dustin, or do you get in a kick for them every once in a while?
Every once in a while I get a kick. Like back when I first got my PS2, I had a Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, and I played the hell out of that game. And then it's something that's kind of left me. Like I'll play like F-Zero and Wipeout and like the more futuristic ones, like Extreme G and things like that. But I just bought Burnout Revenge for the Xbox because I found it for really like a ridiculous price. So I keep thinking that like on the All Gen Gamers, Heine and Metal Jesus, they always talk about that being one of the good ones. So I just haven't thrown that in yet. But I remember playing Beetle Adventure Racing a lot.
And that reminded me that the new Sonic game came out too, and I was really wanting to pick up that game for a good kart racer because apparently, man, the reviews for that have been great too. They say it's a great kart racing game, so if anyone needs a racing fix, maybe that. If that's all you played, Nick, I guess I can go into what I've been playing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, I'll just go into mine real quick because I know me and Dustin have actually been playing, I know at least 2 of the same games, but I'll let him fill you in on what those were about. They were Deadly Premonition and a game called Jamestown on the off of Steam that we bought just yesterday, but I'll let him go into describing those with you. But both fun games. But some other stuff I played since the last podcast, Ragnarok Odyssey for the Vita. I know if you guys saw my video on that, what I went through with GameStop with that, go watch it. It was a good fun kick I had trying to get my hands on my game, but Ragnarok Odyssey little disappointed in it for the fact that if you don't have the right class, it has a couple classes. You can be an archer, you can be a warrior, you can be a pretty much an assassin thief character, a priest, a mage. But trying to play through the game with, say, an archer is tough by yourself. And the way the online is set up, it's kind of tough to get a group going on the same mission you're at. It's really tough to get the group going and playing together. And pretty much the only class I can see playing through the game right now is the priest. And if you don't know, it's like pretty much a quest game. You get a quest, you go out, go through the dungeon, and complete the quest. That could be collecting a certain amount of items, or it could be defeating a boss or certain enemies throughout the levels. And I mean, the combat system's fun. If I would explain it, Dustin, it'd be more like Code of Princess in a 3D setting, the way the combat set up, where you're doing combos, juggle them, hit them in the air, and try to do some more combos. So pretty much the same combat system, just in a 3D environment. But it recycles the levels a lot to where you're going through the same kind of dungeon area over and over again, just maybe fighting a different enemy. And I think the game has like 9 episodes divided into chapters, and I'm on episode 6 or 7. I mean, it's still been fun, but just a tad bit disappointed. I still enjoy the collector's edition it came with the little book and everything in it, soundtrack. But just a little kind of disappointed in the online gameplay and stuff like that. Have you even seen anything about this game, Nick? Or I know you don't even have a Vita, though, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. It was one of the... See, I don't have many games on the Vita. I was really looking forward to it, to have something to play. And
There's not many games for the Vita.
Exactly. There's not many to play that I want to get. So I think I have Uncharted, Hot Shots Golf, and Ragnarok Odyssey because there's nothing out there I want to get. But, I mean, for the price tag for $50 for collectors, I think it's still well worth it. So yeah, I'd still give it a try. If you can find people to group up with you online, it is funner, but good luck trying to get that group because people are being real strict if they don't want to go back and help with quests or if you're not too far along or it's ridiculous. I actually saw Pete on there one time. I was trying to get in a group with Pete Dorr, but we couldn't get in a room together, so that kind of stunk.
No.
Other than that, also played, if you check out my channel, I bought an indie game off of Steam, Thomas Was Alone. That's a really cool platforming puzzle game. Pretty simple. Recommended, though, if you have a controller, plug in a controller to play it, because playing platformers with a keyboard, it just isn't the best kind of setup. So if you have a controller, plug that in. But just remember, go watch my review on that and my discussion on it, because it's a very great game. The narration in it is pretty much about a AI who's lost in the computer world, doesn't know why he's there or anything. He learns how to jump, and eventually he's trying to escape with his other AI buddies out of this computer world. And it's just, the narrator does it by selling the story to you, and the character connection and everything is really good. It's such a simple game with a box and rectangles and squares. So if you're into platformers, definitely check that out. Oh, what else? Man, I'm drawing a blank everything I've been playing. We said Deadly Premonition and Jamestown, and man, that could be it. Oh yeah, I bought Kingdom Hearts 3D on Black Friday. Been playing that since I bought it. Already up to just up to the second world. And Dustin, glad we're here to talk about this, because do I have to beat each world with both characters, or can I go through the whole game just beating it with one character?
You have to beat him with both characters.
Okay, I didn't know, because I had finished off the first world and I was still trucking along with Riku, and the second one I was like, hold on, maybe I need to go back to Sora. And sure enough, when I went back to him, I was still in that first world needing to complete it. And at that point, I was kind of stuck in the first world. I didn't know where to go. Yeah. And you might remember, like right in the first one, you got to talk to this mailbox or something to open up a hole. I was like, where do I need to go? And I finally remembered to talk to that mailbox. But okay.
The great thing about that, though, is it doesn't get as tedious as Birth by Sleep did.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to be okay with it. Even though you have to play through each stage as both Riku and Sora, it doesn't get as tedious as Birth by Sleep. So.
Well, it was already annoying, but the first thing, like you said in your video, during the first boss fight, I get dropped out, and I get sent back to Sora because I was fighting the boss with Riku, I was like, oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. It's already happening. So I know that's going to be a headache throughout the whole game with me
Yeah.
already, the dropout. But I'm actually enjoying this one more than Birth by Sleep. It feels more like the classic combat system. It gets more of like a Kingdom Hearts 1 feel with the combat and stuff for me, except you got these pets and stuff helping you. But is there like customization in this one? You know how you could create your own attacks by mixing items and
No,
stuff?
there's
in
nothing
Birth by
like that in
Sleep?
this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine with me because it makes it a little bit more
I,
simpler. Probably
I
getting.
think there is some customization in how you deal, if I remember correctly, in how you deal with like the spirits that you collect, with the thing, with how you develop them. You get some customization options there, but nothing like was in Birth by Sleep.
Awesome. And other than that, then just some more Halo 4 online, playing around with that. And that's pretty much all I've been playing. I think, well, that's off the top of my head. That's all I can remember. So I'll let Dustin fill you in on the other two.
Okay. Well, I guess since we're gonna go that way, so I'll start off with Jamestown, which Steven actually told me to download, and it's a pretty fantastic shmup on Steam. And you play. It's set like in colonial times, but it's like a steampunk sci-fi reimagining of colonial times, where you have like these colonials flying around these spaceships fighting aliens. So it's really kind of ridiculous, and it reminds me a lot of like a cave shooter. But that's been a lot of fun. Steven was thinking that we were going to be able to play online together, but it's only local
Yeah.
co-op, which is really friggin' stupid when you think about it. It's a digital download game, and it's only local co-op. Like, there's no online multiplayer. Really,
I searched for mods today to see if there was one, like I was trying to say, and there's nothing. So
nothing.
I guess until they make a second one, there will be no
Ah.
online unless they do something with it.
That is a huge omission in that game. But there's a lot of ships, especially if you buy the deluxe edition. You get four different ships, and so there's a lot of variety in how you can approach the levels. A lot of difficulty levels for replayability. A lot of bonus levels. So I mean, it's a pretty big game for what we paid for it, $6.
I think, yeah, the Steam has their little sale going on, which I think ends tomorrow. Don't know if it's still on sale or not, but yeah, the whole bundle pack was $6 with the soundtrack, and I think just $3 something if you just want the game.
Yeah.
So.
And then on top of that, I've been working on Deadly Premonition. And Nick, have you played this game?
I played about 5 or 6 hours of it.
Ooh, you got time into it, yeah.
Yeah, I have to restart it because I played it when it first came out, but yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I know, like, when I did my review of Alan Wake, I said this is as close as we're ever going to get to a Twin Peaks video game. I was absolutely, completely wrong. Deadly Premonition is, like, the closest it's ever... I mean, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't like it, is because everyone talks about how ridiculous the storyline is. They don't understand that it's an homage to Twin Peaks. Even so much so that I found the Laura Palmer picture in Anna's bedroom from Twin Peaks. It's on the wall there, and it's really blurred out, so it's not like that noticeable, but it's there. So I think for fans of that show, this is a must play, and I really think that a lot of people really need to play it because it is a fantastic game. And yes, it's rough around the edges, but the term "diamond in the rough" exists for a reason, and exists for this game. It's a pretty fantastic what all they threw into it and how kind of small the development company was. But more on that when I do my eventual game discussion. Played Halo 4, and I've already done a discussion on that, and I think that this is the best Halo yet. The storyline, everyone talks about how Reach had an emotional storyline, especially with the ending where you're kind of, just doing the good fight, even though it's a losing battle. But for me, this has been the most emotional storyline in a Halo because finally you get to see a chink in Master Chief's armor, and you get to see what his one weakness is, and his weakness is Cortana. And just the through line of that, I am so excited to see what 343 does with Halo 5. I mean, I haven't even touched the multiplayer because I don't really care. And I can't do the Spartan levels because I don't have a gold membership, but just the campaign alone for me was worth the price of admission.
It's a fantastic campaign. I second that. The best out of all of them ODST would be second, but Halo 4, wow, what a story in that. Have you been into them, Nick? Are you a Halo guy or not really into them?
Not into them.
Ooh. Well, if you're going to start over again, then you can start with this new trilogy because it looks like it's got a good future ahead of it with this trilogy. But sorry, Dustin.
I've heard great things.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. Were you saying something?
Oh, I was gonna say I heard a lot of amazing things about Halo 4. But yeah, I've never really gotten into the series though.
Yeah. Like Nick, I played 999. Really loved it. Really loved like when it gets into the descriptions of the deaths, and it's just like his eyes were gouged out and his guts were hanging out, and like red viscera was all over the wall. You know, it's like really detailed language describing these things. But it really reminded me of those choose your own adventure books. You know, and I really like that about it. And I think even more so in Virtue's Last Reward because you can actually choose to, I guess, ally or betray individual people. So it adds like this whole new which is probably why there's 24 endings. So it adds this whole new dynamic to it. But really enjoyed the storyline, though. I felt like as it went on, it kind of went off the rails a little bit, but it was still really good. I guess I was expecting more of a realistic storyline as opposed to the more sci-fi-ish elements that are in the story. What else did I play? Doom 3, BFG edition. Got that. Going back through Doom 3, but it's funny because I found myself actually enjoying Doom 1 more than I was enjoying Doom 3. Like when I loaded up the Doom 1 on there, I was just having a blast running around with the auto aim and just, you know, mowing down imps. I don't know. It was a great sort of nostalgic thing for me. And then other than that, I also played Thomas Was Alone, which I have to agree. It's a pretty, when you look at it, you know, if you watch Steven's video, it doesn't look like an impressive game. You're like, okay, you know, the graphics are very simple, but the music really kind of sucks you in.
Oh yeah.
And like the narration, it really reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with like Stephen Fry doing the narration of that movie. But yeah, I mean, it's solid platforming as long as you can get a USB controller to work with it. And really had some fun with that. I need to get back to it, but I'm going to be focusing solely on Deadly Premonition. And then finally, I've been playing Paper Mario Sticker Star. Well, I guess not finally. There's one more game after that, but yeah.
Well, I would have talked about Deadly Premonition Jamestown. I didn't think you had this many.
Yeah,
well, it's been a while since we did a podcast.
It's been a while since we've done a podcast, yeah. So I've been playing Paper Mario Sticker Star, and I love the Paper Mario series, but this is a weird one because it really waters down the RPG elements, and it actually discourages combat because all of your attacks are based on the stickers you collect, and those are consumables. So, I mean, there's tons of stickers around, but like in the Paper Mario world, some enemies can only be hit by a jump, some enemies can only be hit by the hammer, and sometimes you'll really be like low on jumps and hammers, and you really have to kind of make the decision of, you know, do I really want to fight this battle? Because, I mean, you don't get experience points. There's no experience points. So the only incentive to win a battle is to get coins, and it's a Mario game. There's tons of coins around, you know, so there's really no reason to fight in battles in this game. So it's kind of weird for an RPG because the whole point of fighting in battles is for character growth.
So I was saying, you're saying you don't really level up in the game, right?
Yeah, there's no levels. Like, in order to increase your health, you have to find, like, heart containers.
Oh, wow. And that's crazy thinking, like, well, if I don't pick up this sticker, I might run out of stickers. So you're constantly having to grab these stickers in everywhere you go.
You only have so many pages in your album to store them. I mean, you get more pages as the game goes on. And, I mean, some of these pages, or some of these stickers are really small. They only take up one space. Some of them are huge and take up, like, half a page. So, yeah, I mean, you really have to, I mean, it's a pretty hard game. It's because you have to kind of really do a lot of inventory management, which you wouldn't think with a Paper Mario game. But so in some ways it's watered down, but in some ways it's a little bit more hardcore. So I don't know. It's kind of I haven't really formulated all my thoughts on it. And then finally, been playing a little bit of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon on the DS and really been enjoying that.
There's a Fire Emblem game on the DS.
Oh yeah, it's a remake of the first game from the NES.
Okay.
With Marth. And
I wanted to ask Nick before we got away before Paper Mario. Are you a Paper Mario fan, or have you beaten any of the Paper Marios, Nick? I can't remember if I've seen any of your videos or not.
I've never beaten one. I've played part of them. I like them. I mean, I've always been a fan of like the Mario RPG, type games. I just bought a Sticker Star like last week actually, so I was gonna play it right away, and then I just kind of got sidetracked. But I mean, I enjoy them from what I've played.
I think it's nice to have one portable now because a lot of them do, and you have to invest a lot of time. I've heard Thousand Year Door is like a 30, 40 hour plus game. So I guess it's so cool to have one at least portable now to take with you to kind of chew away at some time.
Yeah.
But that's kind of been what's deterred me from finishing one because so much time to beat those games from what I've heard. Even though I've had an urge to really want to play Super Mario RPG on the SNES. I don't own it, but I don't know. Sometimes you get that urge to play a game. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, or you get that urge to play a certain type of game, and that's just been on my mind for the past 2.5 weeks to find that game to play Super Mario RPG. Don't know why, but
I actually almost did a review of that today.
really.
Yeah, I don't know why too, because it's been a long time since I played it. I just kind of thought like, oh, maybe it'd be a fun one to talk about.
It would be. I probably would
It's
have
a
been
fun
the first
game.
to watch.
It's great.
I meant
It
to
makes
ask you, Dustin.
Oh.
Or sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say it makes me sad that we never saw like a Super Mario RPG too. Like SquareSoft and Nintendo went their separate ways, and then you never got to see like a continuation of that series.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Super Mario RPG 2: Gino's Return.
Did anyone pick up the new Mickey Mouse game?
Oh yeah, I haven't thrown it in yet.
I was gonna say because I don't know if I saw it in your pickup video or not.
It's for it's in the queue for the next one.
Okay.
It came out after I did that last pickup video.
Because I downloaded the demo and I thought it was pretty cool. I played the demo on the from the Nintendo eShop, which I really like that. They do a good job of trying to kind of timing out the demo when the game comes out to let you get a taste of it. And I thought it was pretty cool. So, Nick, did you have any interest in picking that up or anything?
Is that the one on the Wii?
3DS.
The 3DS.
Oh, the 3DS one is out.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Oh god, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that. That's like one of my most anticipated games. I don't know how I missed it. I thought the Wii one was out.
They're all out. They all came out the same day.
Oh, they're both out?
Yeah.
Because I like one. I want to get the one on the Wii, but I want to finish the first one first. But the one on the 3DS, that one's the one that kind of goes back to the old school Mickey Mouse ones, right?
Right. And I was just going to say, going back to Mine Eater 100's question, Sega franchises, Castle of Illusion and World of Illusion, those are both Sega games.
Ooh,
those are both great too.
Yeah.
Those are two of like the better Mickey Mouse games in my opinion.
And those are what this is based on, the Power of Illusion.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get that then.
Yeah.
I'll probably go out tomorrow and go buy it.
Well, the demo was great. I mean, if you want to, you can download the demo on 3DS just to taste it. And the only thing I'd say wasn't that special was I actually played with the 3D, unlike a lot of people. And the 3D wasn't impressive at all. It was kind of lame. The 3D and Kingdom Hearts game is awesome. And, I mean, this game, I really thought they were going to do a good job, kind of like how Code of Princess did that layered 3D look. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about, Dustin, how they had it?
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, there's just hardly any pop in at least the demo. Or maybe it's just a demo thing. But there was hardly any pop in it.
We haven't played Code of Princess in a while. Nick, did you ever pick up Code of Princess?
I didn't. I didn't really have much interest in it, to be honest.
Oh.
Which, hey, I'm glad he didn't. Like, this is going to be totally a different thing. But I think a lot of us these days, I'm guilty of it too. We automatically see a game by maybe Xseed or Atlas, and we're like, man, that's going to be a great game just because the name on it, so I'm going to get it. It's not like that all the time. That doesn't mean you're going to like it just because it has that staple on it. But I think a lot of us do that sometimes.
But just think, Steven, you, me, and Nick, we could really lag out that 3DS.
Oh, yes, we could. We wouldn't even move. It'd be so cool.
Steven and I played some online stuff, and I mean, it wasn't terrible, but there is a definite lag.
Well, it could have been my laggy internet, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? Still fun though.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've seen gameplay footage, and it doesn't interest me too much. And like I probably would have bought it if this was like 6 months ago, almost a year, because I've kind of cut down on the whole. I don't want to say that I've stopped collecting, but it's kind of like what Ari Lewis was saying in his last video, where I just kind of stopped buying stuff like impulse buys, and that's definitely a title that I would have picked up like a year ago, but I just kind of stopped doing that, like buying games based on just the company that put it out or whatever.
Yeah.
Which that was interesting. You brought up that video because I'm really actually kind of anxious to see his next video he's bringing out for the collection stuff that he's saying he's going to talk about. I have a feeling he could get a lot of heat, but I'm glad he seems like he's prepared for it, even if it's going to happen. Because
he's already gotten some.
Oh yeah, from that video
he put
up, he's getting.
It kind of
heat.
sounds like it's going to be like an Alcoholics Anonymous video.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to do a response to it, and I've already touched on it before, but I want to get more in depth because I'm like on this very same page as he is. It's definitely going to get a lot of mixed opinions, but I'm going to try to be professional about it. Just my own experiences, as a collector and a gamer, that I've been through as far as collecting and stuff, and it's, I don't know. I'll make the video when he does it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's going to be a lot of your responses, I think, to that. I wanted to do one too. And everyone has their different form of collecting. And me, I mainly want to stick with, I'm going to buy it because I want to play it. If I don't want to play it, I'm not going to buy it. And unless it's something I come across like the $1 Star Tropics or the $4 sealed Ninja Gaiden 3. Of course I'm going to pick that up. I mean, that's not going to be found anywhere. But stuff like that I'll grab, or My World, My Way. I actually wanted to play that, Dustin. So I'm picking it up, just like Nick did. He picked it up. I think you traded it away, though, didn't you, Nick?
I sold it, yeah.
See, there you go. He sold it, but he wanted to play it. But if I'm not going to play it, yeah.
I actually finished the game, and it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't something I would play again. It was, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
But to each his own. Some people just want to have that full-on collection. That's cool. If you want that, I'll buy bundles like I did. Just this past week, I bought a Game Boy Advance bundle with stuff I had, but I sold all the stuff I didn't want, and I wound up getting a bunch of games for free that I did want, and I made a profit off of it. So I will do stuff like that. But what were you going to say, Dustin, before I cut you off?
I was just going to say, I think, I can't remember if it was Nick or Steven that said that there's different styles of collectors out there, there's going to be the Finn gamers and the Pete Doors that have like just ridiculous collections, and I mean, there's people that even make them look like they don't have anything. But I think all three of us here are practical collectors. Like, we just want the stuff that we want to play. I mean, I'm not going to go out and try to find. I mean, if it's a choice between getting a cartridge of Musha or buying it on my virtual console, I'm going to buy it on the virtual console because it's like 10 times cheaper. That's just, I mean, I don't care about having the cartridge that much. The only reason I have Panzer Dragoon Saga is because that's the only way to get it.
But you know what's bad about that? You just said you'd buy it on the people would rip you with that probably right now. What, you don't want to buy the real copy? You want to buy the virtual console?
Okay,
Which is messed up, That's kind of messed up. But
let's live in the real world for a second, okay? I'm an adult who owns a house and has bills.
Yeah.
So, I buy a ridiculous amount of stuff, but most of that stuff I get for dirt cheap. And, to buy at least an $80 cartridge for a game that I'm going to play a few times and then it's just going to sit on my shelf, no, I'm going to get it on the virtual console.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I was guilty of doing the same thing that a lot of other people have done where, I only buy games I want now, but I used to go out and do like the impulse buys all the time. I mean, I go to GameStop or I go to a local game store and just walk out with just a handful of games that I'd never even heard of just because, it was put out by a certain company or, because it was somewhat like a game that I liked that I played earlier, and even though it's not as good or whatever, and it's just never heard anything about them really. And then I take them home and they just sit on the shelf, and then it almost gets to like this depressing stage where I walk in my room or my game room and I see like all these games stacked up everywhere, and I'm like, I'm never going to play these. Why do I have them? This is ridiculous. And like, it really does. It kind of puts you in this really, really like weird depressing mode. And I've heard other people say this too. And I just felt like, man, I got to get rid of some of this stuff. And I've been through that stage like a million times, but now I'm at the point where I have no desire to even go to a game store. Like, I'm being completely honest. Like, I don't even go to game stores anymore. Like, I hardly ever go on eBay. Like, if I hear there's a game that I want, something that's coming out soon, like Ni no Kuni. I can't wait for it to come out, and that's the only thing that I really want right now.
And you've went and you've trimmed down your collection. Like we've seen those videos where you said, I traded in these games, I wasn't going to play them, and why not just trade them in? Because I know I'm not going to give them any attention, so let's just sell them. Maybe someone will pick it up who will. So at least you're willing to let it go, which that's a big step too, letting go of stuff.
Yeah, well, it was really easy for me to let go of a lot of those games too. The only system that I have a hard time letting go of, or there's two systems, and that's the PS1 and the Saturn. The PS1 has so many RPGs on there, and like there's strategy RPGs that I'll probably never finish. But for some reason, like I have such a hard time getting rid of my PS1 games. And it's the same thing with the Saturn, which kind of reminds me that I'm playing Albert Odyssey as well. I forgot to mention that, but I'll do a video on that. But yeah, everything else, like I had a really easy time letting go of a lot of those games. Like I knew I wasn't gonna play them, so I just let them go. And yeah, like I said, I'll do a video on it, and it's gonna be based on my own experience, because I think that whole video that he did was directed towards people that really don't know what they're doing. Because there's a lot of people that come on YouTube and they see somebody with a lot of video games, and they're like, wow, I want to be like that. I want to have that much stuff. And I've gotten it too. I've had people PM me or leave me comments saying, like, wow, Nick, I wish I had a collection as big as yours. And I'm just thinking, like, well, it's, who cares how many games I have? For me, it's what games I have. And I don't want people to make that mistake of just going out and blowing a bunch of money, especially younger kids, just to have their collection look big. It's like, play games that you want to play, because there's tons of them out there. There's thousands of games.
And I'm guilty of an impulse buy. Well, here recently, it's been my first one in a while, but Dustin had sent me a message saying like, hey, all the copies of Too Human are being destroyed, and they're not going to be able to sell them. But it was like a $3 game, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you get your copy, Dustin? Did you get one?
I did, but it was GameStop new.
Okay. And so I picked one up on impulse, just $3. And, I actually did buy a new one sealed for $5. And I used one for, I think it was $2 something, just so I could play through the game. And I've heard it's a horrible game, but that's how easy it is to get caught into an impulse buy, because you think, they're destroying them. Maybe they're going to be worth something. Who knows?
$3, roll the dice.
True, roll the dice with $3.
Why are they destroying Too Human?
It's because Silicon Knights lost their lawsuit against Epic, and that's it. It's like they have to destroy that game.
X-Men Destiny, X-Men Destiny is one of them.
Yeah, there's a couple games they have to recall and destroy because it's just something in the settlement. I don't know why it's like that, but supposedly they have to recall the unsold games and destroy them.
Which I don't know when the deadline is, because I was just in the game store the other day and I still saw them in there. Yeah. But
sorry, Steven, you're out $8.
Man, I'm big timing over here. No,
that's like 2 tacos at Taco Bell now.
But that's gonna be a cool video. I'm anxious to see what people are gonna say to it, and I don't know, touchy subject for some people.
Well, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't.
So what? He's going to stop collecting. How is that?
Whatever you want to be.
You're awesome.
Yeah. You're awesome. And man, that's like the Jerry Maguire video of YouTube to me right now. Whatever you want to, you're awesome. Whatever you want to be.
I don't know. I think it's a little too. Do you watch Grub Gun, Nick?
I just found his channel like a couple weeks ago. I've watched a lot of his videos because I like his sense of humor. He's funny. So.
I love it. He's fantastic.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I subbed to him yet, but I need to, because I did see that video that you guys were talking about, and it was just hilarious.
He's one of those guys that you can just sit and watch him read the phone book.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see him read the phone book. He'd probably have so many nice quirks about people's names and stuff. That'd be awesome. Anyways, I want to get into the main topic of tonight's podcast. Everyone ready for it?
Go.
All right, tonight we figured we would talk about games that we hate, that seem to generate a lot of love from people, but for some reason they are just not clicking with us. And and we could do the opposite. If we still got the time, games we like that people hate. I don't know who wants to get us started. I can kick things going. I can get the hate train going. And Grand Theft Auto 4. hate it. Yet it was one of the most well-received games in history, but I just cannot get into that game.
But do you like the PS2 ones?
That's the thing. I love Vice City. I think Vice City is fantastic. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was just too real.
Yeah, because
I really felt like a really bad guy in that game maybe. I don't know. I only played it for 2 hours and just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, there was a tonal shift where like the ones on the PS2 were like zany and kind of crazy, and then this one's like a real crime drama, and you're like, nah.
True.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Grand Theft Auto 4 or anything, Nick, or what's your opinions on that game?
Same as you. I love the PS2 versions. You know, I liked it. To me, it just felt like they were more fun. You know, and then the fourth one I played, and I never beat any of them, but I mean, I played a lot of all of them. And 4, I don't know, like you guys said, it felt too real. You know, it just didn't seem as quirky, and it was a little bit too serious in my opinion. And I'm not even excited about 5.
I could care less.
I could care less too. 5, unless at first I thought the teaser trailer that was the guy from Vice City. I was like, oh crap, Tommy Vercetti's back, but it wasn't. So I was like, oh, never mind, I don't care. But there's my one game. We can go around the round table. Someone else can go next before I name off my next one. Nick, you can go. You got one on top of your head?
Call of Duty.
Yeah, there you go. Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty though.
Yeah, I played Modern Warfare. I'm not saying that they're bad games. I don't know. It just seems like more of the same every time they come out with one. And I played Modern Warfare and I liked it, but after that, I'm sick of hearing about it. I mean, I just hate hearing about it.
Black Ops 2 was the last one I actually bought at full price. I mean, not Black Ops 2. The first Black Ops was the last one I bought at full price. And I didn't buy Call of Duty 2 full price, didn't buy 3 full price, didn't buy 4 or 5, but Black Ops I paid $60 for. And you know, all the other ones I waited till they got to about $20 and I had picked them up because the campaigns are pretty cool to play through. I'll try to be the other side of this argument. The campaigns seem like they are a cool story. For first-person shooter story, I mean, they're not as out there as like a Doom or something, but I mean, for basic first-person shooter, I think that's maybe why it's really accessible to anyone to play it because there's not a lot to them. But maybe that, and then the online again. Online people love the online multiplayer. I'm more of into Halo now than I was with Call of Duty a couple of years ago, and I don't know. I just get tired of the kids on call. I mean, it sounds like such a dumb thing because you can mute people, but man, I get tired of hearing like a 10-year-old curse like he's like a sailor. So I mean, it just seems so weird to me. But I don't know. They're still fun games for campaign, but I can see why people hate them.
If they don't start pausing that series a little bit, it's going to go the same way as Guitar Hero.
I don't know. I mean. They're in the tens of millions, man. That'd be a lot of sale drop-offs for them.
But a new release every year. I mean, eventually they're going to get sick of it.
You'd think it'd get too expensive, but they just keep kicking in their money with it. I don't know. Do not know.
Nah. So is it my turn?
Go for it.
All right, you guys ready for this?
I'm so ready. I'm excited.
Pokemon. Hate it. Hate
you
it.
Pokemon?
Hate it. Cannot
Why
stand
do you hate
it.
Pokemon, Dustin?
Because it reminds me of these stupid Tamagotchi things. Like, do you remember those fucking things? People carrying those around at school?
Were those the little pets we carry with us?
Oh,
like
this is my little dog.
Or whatever?
This is my dog. I'm taking care of it. Go get a real fucking dog. You know?
You can't take a dog to school, Dustin.
Yeah, but I tried. I had Pokemon Yellow, and I tried with one of the Game Boy Advance ones, and I just never could do it. Just didn't care.
What about you, Nick? Are you a Pokemon fan?
Never played one. I can't get into those types of games. I just never had any desire to play one. I mean, they look okay, I guess, but I mean, I just know it's something I'm never going to sit down and play. Like, just going around collecting these Pokemon and whatever. Never had any interest in it. I'll probably never play one.
You know, this is kind of crazy because we didn't like pre-discuss this or anything. You guys like the games we don't like, but so far we're like seeing eye to eye on everything because I do not like Pokemon either. I I actually have a lot of the Game Boy carts because, like I said, I'll buy a lot sometimes and just sell them off and make a profit off of them and keep the games I want. And most of the time, a Pokemon game's in it. And I'm waiting until I can get a Pokemon Red because then I'll have every single one. And I'm gonna just throw it up on eBay as a whole big lot because people pay out the butt for those things for some reason. And I don't know. I just, like you said, I have no desire to soak hours into leveling them up and catching them all. The only game I did have a desire to play was the Pokemon Conquest because that was a strategy RPG. And even after 5 hours of that, it wasn't deep at all, and it wasn't that much fun. So yeah, I'm not a huge. I keep trying to give them a try, and when you see these like Pokemon Black and White too, where they're kind of looking better, and maybe a 3D one might be really tempting to try out on the 3DS, but I've just had no desire to sit down and play through them. Nothing. So sorry for all the Pokemon lovers out there. We like Pokemon.
I just broke so many hearts on the internet.
We're gonna, and they're probably real surprised because like you're big time RPG fans, especially you two. Like this is a staple RPG, and you guys don't like it.
Yeah. I know. As soon as this thing gets posted, my subs are just going to drop. This guy's not legit. Let's get out of here.
Ballin Nick's video is going to be our most disliked video here on the podcast now. Sorry, Nick.
They're gonna flag the channel.
Hey, PETA will like us.
We'll move on to me because I'll drop another bombshell, and that's I think we talked about this like the very first like test podcast episode we did us three, and that was Chrono Trigger. I'm not gonna say I hate it yet, but I'm just not big. I'm not as big as a fan as people tend to be, like marking it as like one of the greatest RPG you can play. Yeah. I put 12 hours into it and don't see it. It doesn't seem like that much of a story to me. It seems pretty simple, and I don't know. Just Chrono Trigger does not pull me in and suck me in. I think someone said something on one of our podcasts about it too. So I got people out there who agree with me with it, but it just seems weird that I've heard so much praise about it. Yet I don't know. I just can't get into Chrono Trigger. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me, guys?
I think it's you're playing it out of its time. Like if you would have played it as a kid when it was new and fresh, you'd have been like, whoa. But now, like, we have all these other games out there. I mean, it is kind of like going back and playing Dragon Warrior. You know, if you go back and play Dragon Warrior, it's gonna be like, oh, this kind of sucks. But when I was playing as a kid, it was like, man, this game is fucking amazing. You know.
Okay.
Well, I played it for the first time about 5 years ago, and I loved it. But I've always had an appreciation for like Super Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. But I mean, I really wasn't a fan of RPGs back then either. And then I don't know, Chrono Trigger, I don't know, it just did something for me. Like I thought it was great. I mean, it was kind of easy, but I just thought it was a great game.
Was it story? Was it were you enjoying the battle system? It did seem more like your type of battle system. Like you just like to attack people. So I say that it seemed more of like your style for that.
Yeah, I mean the story. I mean I could never like really talk too much about the story. Like it wasn't really the story that did it for me. I need to go back and replay it and I'm going to on the DS. But I love the battle system and I love just the way the game looks. I just thought it was a gorgeous looking game for a Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
It was the music.
And I like traditional RPGs. Yeah, the music is amazing. I love the music.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll pass it on to Nick. What's your next game? If you,
I don't know if a lot of people are going to be ready for this one. And it's not that I hate it; I just don't like it, and that's God of War. I've played the first one and the third one. I beat both of them. I didn't play the second one, and they're not horrible games. I just don't like them that much.
You're just not an uber fan of it, yeah.
No, I don't like Kratos as a character. I think the game is I think they're repetitive. Yeah. I mean, and I know that's kind of the same thing with a lot of hack and slash games, but I just found that to be extremely repetitive after a while. I mean, God of War 3 was a gorgeous looking game, but it got really repetitive, and I just couldn't wait for it to get over.
I keep hearing Dustin try to say something. What were you saying, man?
I was just to say I'm right there with you. I think in a lot of ways people talk about like Gears of War being like the game that ushered in this machoism of video gaming. You know what I mean? But I think God of War was really where it kind of started, because it's like that's what people talked about. They talked about the blood, they talked about the tits, and it's like beyond that, it's just kind of like, I mean, it's a kind of a repetitive game. I mean, It's not that.
It
I mean,
is.
I don't understand why whenever a new one came out, they treated it as like the next, like, video gaming has now arrived. God of War 2 is out.
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand it. You know, I was like, it's the same game as the first game, only with more blood and more tits.
I'm not a like a huge fan of the series. I do enjoy playing through the games. I don't like how people will compare other hack and slashes saying, "Oh, it's a God of War knockoff." Guess what, people? There were God of War style games before God of War came out.
Yeah.
So please stop saying games are a God of War knockoff because everything's going to be going after something. Even God of War copy and pasted from other games. But I mean, I enjoy playing through them. That's another series I always will wait for it to get down to the $20 range or even cheaper. I think I picked God of War 3 up when it was like 17. It's not something I'll be out there day one to get. The things I look forward to most in the game is like the boss battle, but getting to the boss battle is mundane and repetitive, not fun. It's just trying to get to that boss battle and fighting him, which is really the highlights of the game. Other than that, I mean, but again, it's not a huge fan, but I'll try to give it some love. We can't have all sorts of hate in episodes, so I'll put some love in here and there.
Well, another thing I don't like about the game is the nudity. I thought it was dumb. It was just done in a really corny way.
It's always so out of place.
It is. I just felt like it was totally unnecessary, you know. And like, I'm not one of those, you know. Obviously, I'm a grown up. You know, I'm not like one of these kids who's never seen naked women before. So I'm not sitting in front of the TV gawking at this stuff. To me, I'm looking at it like, are you kidding me? Like, this is wasting my time. You know, like I don't care about this stuff. It's a video game. I just want to go and
Get me
kill
back to
people
the
or whatever.
repetitive action.
Right. It was just dumb. It was corny.
Because people could say the same thing like about Code of Princess, though. Like really like that one, but combat was super repetitive in it.
Solange's and Solange's jiggling.
Exactly. But yeah, I kind of like them. I'll say I'm a fan of God of War, but yeah, definitely not day one. And the character isn't appealing to me whatsoever. God of War, like Dustin said, Macho Man, just type of title game. But
oh yeah, I'm gonna go fight Zeus.
what do you get next for us, Dustin?
Well, my first answer was a shocker, and so my second one is not going to be a shocker. Any and all sports games.
Oh, boo! What a cop-out answer. No,
I know. Well, Call of Duty. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'll go on the good side here. Sports games. I'll buy them 3 years after they come out. So I think right now I'm up to Madden 10. I have Madden 10. That's my latest Madden game.
I think the thing that drives me nuts the most about sports games is like every year they have to release a new one and it's a $60 title. Like I mean, I understand it back in the Super Nintendo days, but we live in a DLC world. All they have to do is update the rosters on a patch. That's all they have to do. And it's not like they drastically change the games from game to game. Now I know I'm going to have some sports fan on there. Oh, the mechanics of Madden 2012 is completely different from 2000. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, fundamentally, it's football. Has football changed in the last 70 years? I don't think so. The helmets have changed. They wear more padding now.
One of the main reasons I'll get them is for family when they come over. My uncle, that's all he does play is sports games, so I'll play that with him. Or it depends on what we're classifying as sports titles too, because Hot Shots Golf, I think that's a fun arcade golf game.
Okay,
the Mario stuff. Yeah.
Well, even that I don't really care. It's if I want to play golf, I'll go out and play golf. If I want to play football, I'll go out and throw a football around. It's maybe I'm just I did just turn 30, so maybe I'm just turning into an old man. But it's like, damn you kids, go out there and play with the damn ball.
Hey, if you can do this trick shots in Mario Tennis, then I want to see them. I'm coming to Ohio, and you're going to show me how you do some of them. Yeah. But I really dig the Mario Tennises and stuff like that. But
and I'll grunt like Maria Sharapova too.
What about you, Nick? Because I know you used to be a big basketball fan. So do you like sports games or?
No, I used to play me and a friend of mine, back when we used to actually play video games like in the same room with somebody. Mm-hmm. We used to play NBA, 2K5, and that was fun, because we play competitively, and I always got my ass kicked and I always got pissed off, but it was still fun. But those days are over now.
Yeah.
Nobody sits in the same room and plays video games anymore. And like Dustin was saying, the mechanics of these games, they change like a tiny bit, but it's still the same game. It's I don't know. And for me, it's just like I look in these magazines. I don't really go by reviews, but it's almost like an automatic, automatic 9 game. Like they always get 9s and 9.5s because they're better than the next one, all because of the graphics or whatever. And it's the same game that came out last year.
Which actually kind of surprised me because I don't want to like profile Nick or anything, but he's like he likes rap music and urban stuff. If they're probably like, man, you don't like getting the football on the Madden, that kind of seems like the type of person you are.
Excuse me, sir. Your name is Ballin, Nick.
Yeah, you're balling Nick. Supposed to get basketball.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't. Yeah. I'm like you said, I don't even like basketball anymore. Period.
Yeah.
So I mean, I buy into a game is just not going to do it for me either.
But I was really into back in GameCube era and stuff when the NFL Streets and stuff came out. They tried to do something different in NBA Street. It was arcadey, and I thought those were a lot of fun too. But
I did play that. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I do want to amend my answer just a little bit. I will accept NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and I will accept Super Dodgeball. Those are the only 2 sports games that I will accept.
Wait for real.
Those are the only qualifications.
Yeah. Other than that,
all right. I guess I'll move on to the next one. I don't know if I want to do. You know what? I don't want to know if I want to label all the games, but I want to just say SMT games. I was just gonna say Persona or stuff like that, but I really haven't. I haven't dove too much into them to judge them yet. The Devil Survivor, like I've said before, just really could not get into it. I know they get a lot of praise, but just SMT games, I'm having a really hard time to get into them. And I'm watching gameplay footage of Persona 1 and 2 on the PSP, and just the load times looked horrendous, and I just did not want to try it. But Persona 4 coming out for the Vita, I mean, that game gets a lot of praise, and again, I'm tempted to dive in there and try one out, but I just cannot get into any of them.
I kind of feel like they're overly technical. Like
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people like it because of the very technical nature of it, the very hardcore nature of it, but I think for a lot of people, it is kind of hard to get into. Like even Digital Devil Saga, which is, I guess, supposedly the easiest one to get into. Even that, I was kind of getting very frustrated with it because it was like every battle was like this long drawn out affair where I had to strategically attack every monster instead of, like grinding is just a chore in it because you have to really plan how because your strikes could either heal or not even do damage, or if you don't do it right. So sometimes you just want to veg out and grind some levels out, and you can't do that. At least Digital Devil Saga. I don't know about the rest of the game, but
okay.
Yeah.
And Nick, are you a Persona fan, or am I thinking of Benzo who really likes the Persona stuff?
I know he does. I tried playing Persona 4, and I agree. I mean, I really like the series. I really love the SMT games, but they are hard to get into. Like, it's those games that I keep wanting to go back to them. I want to go back to them.
Yeah.
But I can never get that far because I'm not good at the whole confusing thing, and it's the different spells, like the names and everything. You have to adjust to those because they're not just called heal and whatever. You have to learn all those, and it is really kind of a tedious game or series to get into, and they're extremely difficult too. Like you have to fight these certain bosses in very specific ways. They all have like certain weaknesses that are. It's just very technical, and I don't know. It's just they're really hard to get into. Like Nocturne is ridiculous.
Well, isn't the Persona ones in particular? Doesn't that have like kind of a Pokemon thing to it where you have to raise your monster or level them up? Is that kind of what it is, or
they pretty much all are except Digital Devil Saga. Like Nocturne, you have to do that. The Persona games. I don't know about Devil Summoner. I've never played that.
Okay.
But then there's like Strange Journey on the DS where you have to do the same thing. So I mean, they're kind of known for doing that, and a lot of people love it. I've never been good at that whole thing, demon fusing and all that, because I never know like which ones to have, and
I know Dustin's video with the Digital Devil Saga, that seems like the one, if any, to try. But I know he said it's really tough at some point. So that's another deterrent too. That is just really tough. And I think all these SMT games are tough. Like Dustin said, they're just technical.
Yeah.
So, but that's my next one. So, Nick, you got any more?
Yeah, Bulletstorm.
Ooh, another agreement with me. Dustin, did you play it?
I've never played it, but I've watched videos of it, and I think it kind of falls into the same thing as like Nick was talking about with like God of War, where it's just like, you know, the boobs were just kind of out of place. And it's like you're running around, and you're just hearing all these guys, you know, cursing all over the place. It's just like it's funny for like 5 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I get it,
Now,
The humor in that game.
what was it for you that really did it, Nick? That was like, man, this is bad.
Well, when I was done, I beat the game because I actually finished the game. I mean, you're gonna talk about repetitive. That's like the most repetitive game I've ever played in my life.
Oh, but
I mean,
wait, it was supposed to have so many moves and kill styles.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and there it is, but I mean, it pretty much goes down to the same thing. I mean, you're kicking somebody in the spikes, and you're hitting them off ledges or whatever. I mean, it's just, I mean, you could literally go through the whole game without shooting anybody, and it just gets really boring after a while. And the humor in the game is the complete opposite of what I like. It's not clever humor. It's just a bunch of cuss words strung together. And I'm a foul-mouthed person. You know, like I'm one of the most foul-mouthed people you'll ever talk to. But to me, that humor is it's stupid. It's not clever at all.
It was
you know?
so dumb. I couldn't stand it. I wanted to mute it.
I like the visuals. It was a really nice looking game, but the gameplay was really repetitive and not fun.
There are no grub guns.
But see, I'm a Gears of War fan. I really like those games, and I figured like it's coming from like People Can Fly and Epic and everything. I thought it was gonna be great. Man, so disappointed. Like you were saying, just the dialogue and the repetitiveness with no style coming in anything. Like you said, the same stuff over and over. Really disappointed. Ugh. All right, Dustin, go for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like the only thing I can think of is I'm really starting to dislike this sort of generic Western RPG thing that's been happening. Like where every game, because I look at like Amalur and I look at like Elder Scrolls and there's all these other games like Echo Draconis and all that other stuff and Fable, and it's like, can I please play a game where I don't feel like I'm in Lord of the Rings? I love Lord of the Rings, don't get me wrong, but can I please, you know, that's maybe that's why I love JRPGs so much, because they actually create a very unique world. Like Xenoblade creates a very unique world. And it's like, I just look at all these other Western RPGs, and it's like, put the Tolkien down and create something yourself.
I get where you're coming.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, other than that, I'm really kind of having a struggle, because I don't have a lot of hate in me.
Yeah, but there's not too much hate.
Yeah.
I think I had, let me see. I can do one more. Yeah, I don't know why, but I just cannot get into Tales of games. They're the dumbest games ever. No, I'm just playing. I enjoy those games. East is so awful. I cannot get into East.
What kind of hero with red hair? That's a.
I think I'm the same with you. I think that's all the hate I can muster up right now. I mean, I was gonna plan on writing a bunch down, but I don't have titles in my collection.
I know that's the thing. I'm like looking at my collection. I'm like, wait, these are the games I like.
I don't have them anymore. But just to throw in there, like you're saying, you're tired of the genericness of the Western RPG. I'm getting a little tired of all my survival horror games turning action-y, which looks like Dead Space 3. I'm so worried for that one now. But I wish we'd kind of go back to some old school survival horrorness here this generation. But
well, okay.
I can't think of any more hate.
Speaking of that, you know, I think you're going to get exactly what you want when Last of Us comes out. I mean, that's survival.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I don't know if much of the horror aspect, because it seems pretty bright in that game, but
well, you can have bright horror. I mean, you don't have to have dark and shadows for horror.
Which, isn't it crazy how at the beginning, like, I hate horror movies, but man, why do I love those games so much? I can't stand the movies, but when it comes to a survival horror game, I'm just a sucker for them.
It's probably the disconnect when you're watching a movie. It's not happening to you, but when you're playing a game, your brain tricks you into thinking it's happening to you.
See, Dustin always bringing knowledge to the podcast. That's why he's here.
That's why I'm here.
You got any more, Nick, that you can think of? Too much.
There's one more game that I can't stand, and that's GoldenEye on the 64.
Now that is a bombshell.
That is a bombshell.
I mean, Chrono Trigger was probably bigger, but that's just as big. It's kind of atomic.
Oh yeah, because I think there's like one other person I've ever heard that said they don't like that game.
Wow.
It does nothing for me. I mean, I'm not a Bond fan, number one, and I've tried to play the game, and it just I can't get into it. It just does nothing for me.
Now the control can be tough for the 64. I hate how the control kind of setup is now, trying to go back to play. But I really want to get the GoldenEye like Legends or whatever it is for the 360 and stuff and try that out. But man, Ballin, Nick hates GoldenEye. I can't believe it.
And that game I actually legitimately do not like.
Wow.
See, I think maybe you need to just approach GoldenEye like people approach Grand Theft Auto, and go through it and kind of beat the missions, and then go back and just kill everyone and blow up everything. Then you'll have fun.
There you go. Just put it on.
I might have to try that.
Go through it all.
I think that's about it for me, though.
I think that's enough hate for the podcast today. We'll start showing a little bit of love. We won't hate on anything else, but hopefully we won't get too many dislikes for all that. Just our opinions, people. Like I said,
I can't promise you that there won't be more hate.
You're awesome, whoever you want to be. But I don't know where we want to go from here.
Well, you said you want to do the flip side. You want to talk about some games that you like that people seem to hate?
We can.
Have we already done that before, though? I feel like
I'm trying to think if we did or not. I don't know if we did or not.
We're only 5 episodes in, and I feel like we're already repeating ourselves.
The only problem I'm having is I'm trying to think of like everything I'm looking at, like the gaming community. We kind of all agree upon that they're good games. Like I think the gaming community on YouTube thinks Deadly Premonition is a good game, but anything outside of that, I mean, they hate it.
Yeah.
Or Destructoid for giving the last story a 2 or 4. Get you guys, man.
4.
That game's not a 2 or 4.
Here we go again. We're going to get into a thing about video game journalism, like episode 3 all over again. I don't know if it's actually.
We're repeating ourselves again, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head while I'm looking real quick. If anyone else has anything, Mirror's Edge. I don't know if that was reviewed well.
It was reviewed well. It was just it didn't sell well.
Okay, I love that game. Or Enslaved: Odyssey to the West. I think that's kind of mediocre reviews.
Yeah, but it was an amazing game.
Yeah, Dustin, I know you love that game. I think it's amazing. Anything popping off for you, Nick?
Well, I already got a lot of hate for this one, and that's Resident Evil 6. I liked it. I mean, I got like 12 thumbs downs on that video so far, and people just can't accept the fact that somebody out there actually likes the game. I mean, I don't love it. You know, my opinion's definitely changed on it after actually beating all 4 scenarios, but I didn't hate it at all. You know, like it's not the worst game I ever played, and people were just like, man, I mean, people get upset when you admit that you like that game.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of the worst games ever. Like I said, it's a fun game to play through. I even had fun playing the game, but I just didn't get the Resident Evil feel, which I was so disappointed. But again, I don't hate Nick because he likes Resident Evil 6. I think stuff like that's stupid. I thumbed his video up I gave that video a thumb up because he was honest about his impressions, and I thought it was awesome. But I thought that video was awesome. He's sitting there with his beer, like, I don't care what the heck people think. I'm just gonna give my opinions now. It was fantastic.
That's all you can do is be honest. I mean, I don't know. There's no reason to lie about liking a video game. It just seems like a lot. Some people, it seems like they just want to jump on some sort of like weird bandwagon, like they have to hate a game because somebody else does.
Yeah, you're right. I can agree with you on that.
It's easier than forming your own opinion, because I see this a lot with people always talking about politics, and I'm not going to bring politics into this, but it's easier just to regurgitate someone else's opinion than actually do the research. Not that video gaming requires a lot of research, but it's just easier to regurgitate what someone else says other than actually forming your own thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people are like they're talking about the game like Resident Evil 6, and they're saying that like there's a couple people that have said that they've never even played the game, but they say it's like the biggest piece of shit ever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, well, how can you say that? You know, like there's a lot of games that I thought didn't look that fun. I didn't think that Bayonetta was going to be that fun, and I loved it. And that's like one of the few hack and slash games that I actually like.
Yeah, Bayonetta was pretty cool. I was gonna say for games that I like that other people might not. I think like light gun shooters kind of get knocked around a bit for being bad games. But I mean, I really enjoy playing like light gun games with the Wii remote, the Resident Evil ones on there, Dead Space, Extraction, stuff like that. Even like the Time Crisis games on the PS2. I think they're fun, and yeah, don't know if people hate them, but
I don't know if people hate them. I think they just have gone by the wayside. You know, it's kind of weird because, especially with like the Wii and with, well, not with Move. No one bought Move. No one cares about Move. But especially with the Wii, like I was expecting a lot more light gun games than actually came out.
mm-hmm.
I was expecting Virtua Cop Collection and Time Crisis Collection, and, you know, all these great arcade. Area 51. No, not Area 51. No one cares about Area 51. But you know, the House of the Dead's on there. Pretty fancy. Those are always fun to boot up when you have friends over for like Halloween parties and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, they're good fun like multiplayer games to play with other people. So
Yeah.
but that's really all I can think of. I can't think of anything because, like I said, looking at my collection, people like the stuff in here. So there's nothing people hate. I'm looking at on my shelves. So
what do you guys think of the reaction to the Wii U launch?
That's a goal. Hey, what do you think about getting a Wii U though, Nick? I don't know if you got one or not. Did you get one?
No, right now I have no. I haven't even been watching that many videos on it, to be honest. I mean, it's just, to me, I already know there's no games for it that I want, so I haven't had any interest in it. If I hear about some titles that are coming out pretty soon that I'm interested in, then maybe I'll think about picking one up. But I just have no interest in one right now.
Now I want to know if that everyone's talking about this install they had. Is that something that people had to download? If I didn't have the internet, would I have been able to play my Wii U on day one?
You would have been able to play the games, but like all the extra stuff that's on the Wii U, like the Netflix and all that crap, I think that's what that was. You could actually, although I don't think you could play Wii games. I think you had to download the update to play Wii games. But
okay, because I saw everyone like posting about, man, this install is so long. Well,
that's because everyone did it. Everyone did it at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand this.
Just going off of the one video I'm thinking of is Grub Gun again. Is all the problems he had. I know he said he had problems, but that's the only person I kind of saw, other than that install thing going on.
Yeah.
I think everything's going kind of smooth, hasn't it? Or
yeah, it wasn't so much problems. It was just more people was like the general reaction to it is just kind of like meh, you know. Like everyone was all so jazzed about getting it, and then once they got it and like they booted it up and they were playing things, like I watched the Game Chasers play theirs, and they're sitting there playing Zombie U, and they're just kind of like, man, I thought the graphics would be better, you know.
I'm sorry, that had the greatest part. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
When the toss in the salad bar.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing.
Looks like she's tossing the salad.
Did you watch it, Nick?
I think I watched like half the video.
There's a part where they're searching a body, and one of them says, "Go search the body," and the girl gets down on her knees and she's searching this other girl's body, and it's like right at her butt area, and it just looks like she's all into it.
Well, then later on they do it again. He goes, "Oh, there she goes, going for the butt again. What is with this girl and going for the butt?" You know.
Oh, so good. But I know you're right, Dustin. It was kind of and that's the reason why. I mean, I didn't even want to get one. I wasn't super excited yet because there's nothing for it. I know you got tempted though here recently.
I did get tempted. Yeah.
I was really I was kind of like, wow, really? Because I didn't think there was anything out there you wanted for it. But
well, you know, it was kind of one of those impulse things because I had resigned myself to not getting one because yes, there's nothing on it there for me yet. And it was also there's all these reports of it just selling out all over the place. Mm-hmm. Which I mean, we went to Walmart here in my town, and you know, they don't have one. But for some reason, the Walmart in my wife's hometown, which is a small town, they had like 8 of the deluxe editions and like 6 of the white ones. and I'm like, it's when you see it there in front of you that like that kind of that switch clicks in your head, and you're like, new system must buy,
Yeah.
Gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it.
And I looked at my wife and I was like, I really should buy this. And she looked at me like, if you buy that, I will tear your skin off in the store. And so I didn't get it. But, if I would have got it, it would have been cool. It would have been something to do a video on. But it's like I talked to my friend at GameStop. He has one. I was like, so what have you been doing with it? He's like, I've been playing the last story. So,
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
I'd be playing my Wii games on it. That's what I'd be doing. Not playing, I don't even think there's anything in the launch that I really care about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's nothing for me. I mean, a Zombie U, but then after seeing the gameplay footage, that doesn't warrant a system seller for me. That's why I will wait for that the library to build up, and hopefully maybe that different type of console to come out, maybe some type of special edition. We'll see. It's going to be cool to see when they time Zelda. If there's a Zelda game, possibly
that's
next Christmas. I don't know if we'd see one that early.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can only imagine a cool console coming with that.
That Zombie U game, it just sounds so generic. I mean, just the name and just the concept and everything. It's just I'm kind of getting tired of it.
It looked like Dead Island to me, is all it was.
Yeah.
It kind
Well, that's what they say. It's kind of a Dead Island that lacks the depth that maybe Dead Island had.
Yeah. And then the whole new...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I was just going to say, the whole new Super Mario Brothers thing is really starting to piss me off, too. I mean, I don't know how many games... I mean, they just came out with the second one.
That should have been one of my games. Oh, that should have been one of my games that I hate that everyone else loves. The fucking new Super Mario Brothers.
I don't even hate the games. I just don't like the fact that they're all the same. It's that they don't really do nothing for me. They're not... I don't think they're great, but I don't hate them. But it's like... It's the same game over and over again, and we just saw one for the 3DS. Now they have a Wii U one. It's not going to be any different.
Why couldn't they make like a legitimate? Why couldn't they make like Mario Galaxy 3? That would have sold some systems.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's where they're going to stick to? You think they're going to stick to the Galaxy, or maybe?
No, they're going to do something different. It's something different every system.
I have no idea how they could venture off. I'm stumped to what they're going to do next for another 3D realm.
Wasn't there a Mario game where it had like 100 Marios or something in it?
Yeah, that was way back. I forgot what that was even about. The mini or 100 Marios.
It was just like I just remember seeing this video. It was like all these Marios like running around, and it was like that was the idea for the next Mario game or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm having a fever dream or something. I don't know.
I think all the early Nintendo games we're going to see or first party games are probably going to be good, but they're not going to be the best of what you can get, because I think they're just going to cash in on we can do stuff in HD now, so we'll just show them it in HD. Then later on, how Skyward Sword came out at the end of the lifespan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the stuff will really be great stuff then, kind of near the end. But here in the beginning, I don't know how Nintendo's going to do it. Seems like that's what they'll do, but yeah, kind of meh for me. I wasn't excited about it to begin with because there were no games, but when the library gets there, which it will, it just takes time, and then I'll be excited for it.
Well, see, like that, it's like I'm kind of the same way with the Vita, which you have the Vita, and I was talking to Soft Otaku about the Vita as well, because it seems like he's been buying a lot of Vitas lately, because he lives over in Japan. I don't know if it's cheaper over there or what, but I was like, are you guys getting a better selection of games? And he's like, no, not really. So and that thing's been out for a year, right? I mean, there should be games. I mean, it should be my 3DS library has ballooned this year.
And that generated so much hate, and now it's a great system, I think, right now. Yeah. It's got so much stuff you can get for it. And with the price drop and everything, 3DS, it's starting to really get a library now. If you don't have one, I would grab a 3DS.
So
yeah, I love that. I love that system.
And
I'm wondering. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just say you said you're playing that Fire Emblem. When was the next one coming out? The newest Fire Emblem? Is there a date for it?
It's sometime in 2013. I want to say. Okay. I think I saw March 2013, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote that.
Okay. You just had, like you said, the Mickey Mouse game, Power of Illusion. The Mario came out. Still got Luigi's Mansion. You got the Fire Emblem. Got so much stuff at the Castlevania game.
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. Oh, I'm so excited about picking that up too. Just so much stuff for the 3DS now. So many good titles.
I'm wondering if Sony's going to drop out.
Ooh. I don't know. We think Nick, Sony dropping out?
I don't know about that.
Because,
But
well, I mean,
they're
they're kind of in dire
I don't know,
straits
though.
right now.
Yeah.
The one thing I put this up in a like 4 years ago. I put a blog post up on GameTrailers.com saying, why would there be a need for 3 consoles? We only probably need 2: Nintendo and then Microsoft and Sony. Bam, teaming up or something, taking on Nintendo. I think that'd be enough consoles in its own.
Yeah.
But
Because, I mean, there's really not a difference between the PS3, I mean, library-wise, PS3 and the Xbox.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very little that separates them. So
I just think we get that feeling over here maybe, but isn't it, don't they do so well over there in Japan though?
oh yeah, well, I mean,
Or-
everything's different in Japan. I mean, the Wii's
Yeah.
a completely different system in Japan. You know, the PlayStation 3 is a completely different system in Japan. Xbox, of course, the 360 is a completely different system because it sucks over there. No one wants
Yeah. Ooh, there you go. I'm sorry, you said 360. I love Blue Dragon, and people seem to bash that game all the time. I know, Dustin, you said you like it,
it. I love it too.
but I love Blue Dragon.
I hate the boss music though. I hate that boss music. Oh,
Best music ever is that boss music. What about you, Nick? Did you say you like Blue Dragon, or you didn't play it?
I haven't played that one actually. I need to. It looks fun. I'm sure it's right up my alley.
It is
very
$6 now. $6 at GameStop. So
yeah.
It's so cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Mistwalker, so I'm sure I'll like it.
I think what I love most about it was I could level up I could grind without fighting. There's like a bubble shield you can put on and run into enemies, and it would kill them if they're lower than you. And you could just grind away doing that. Saves so much time. I don't know.
I liked how one of the enemy types in the game is literally a pile of poop.
Yes, that too. A king poop. It felt like more Dragon Quest to me, you know? It felt like a Dragon Quest game almost, and how it had the metal poos. I think it had metal poos in it too. It had different kinds of them.
Instead of slimes, they're poos, and they look like...
Yes.
Yeah.
But like that game. Anyway, sorry. Well, I don't know where else we can go, man.
I don't know.
This might be our shortest podcast yet, and we got
Ballin. Oh no,
Nick.
we've broke 2 hours. I think there's one where we were under 2 hours. I think the first one we were under 2 hours.
Because we could talk about so much with Nick, but we got to span that for other episodes. I mean, we could talk tons of Final Fantasy with them, tons of RPG, but I'm sure we'll have Nick back, so we'll be able to talk plenty more stuff with Nick.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, Nick will be back because we got to pick his brain on RPGs when we start talking about them.
And by then, I should have more done.
No guarantees there. These things are long.
They are. I'm hoping to finish Albert Odyssey soon here.
That is, I saw that you were playing that. That is fantastic.
Yeah,
it really is.
If I could go back and redo my top 10 list, I'd put that on there somewhere.
Yeah, it's unfortunate again that's the only way you can get it, like on the Saturn.
Yeah.
Which that's a console. Yeah, I've been trying to find one, even on eBay, a good deal. I can't seem to find one, so
you should
hey, listeners.
Yeah.
If you got a good deal on the Saturn, let me know. Yeah, what were you going to say? Just buy what?
Well, I was just going to say that console is a fantastic deal, especially when you get the action replay card. Because I mean, then like every game that's in Japan that you ever wanted, you can have it. You know.
Oh, nice.
So it's definitely. It's unfortunate the way Sega marketed it over here, because I think if they would have marketed it different, it would have done so much better against the PlayStation, because it was like no 2D games, which the system is a 2D powerhouse, and no RPGs, which then Final Fantasy VII hit and the market shifted completely. So, again, that's Sega fucking up.
Well, I'm looking to get one just for the game that Nick's playing. I really want to play Albert Odyssey for some reason. It's another game I want to play.
It's got the funniest dialogue you'll ever read in a game.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, it's a game that's hilarious.
I can't wait to your video on it then. That's gotta be it. Forget about Mass Effect 2. Finish that. You gotta do a video on Albert Odyssey.
I'm like addicted to Mass Effect, man. I can't put it down.
It is. It's a great game. I can't knock that. It's a fun game.
Until you get to Mass Effect 3 and you can have homosexual relationships and the ending doesn't make sense.
Bum bum ba.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed things about that one.
It's really good.
Yeah, don't listen to him. It's supposed to be listen to Dustin. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. It was one of those things where we've seen this in every sort of series where like, Star Wars, the prequels weren't what I imagined. I hate them, It's like the ending's not what I wanted. Meh.
Yeah.
Or Disney's taking over. Meh.
Yeah.
Dustin.
Hey, I said in the video that it's probably a good thing that Star Wars is taken out of the hands of George Lucas.
Yes, you did say that.
Did say that. I'm just saying that Disney, I don't think they're going to fuck with the movies. I think the movies will be fine. I think they'll be better than fine. I think they'll be really good because they're going to have actually good writers and good directors doing it. I just think that they're going to be, you're just going to see Star Wars, friggin' everywhere,
But isn't that what a Star Wars fan wants? Don't they want more Star Wars stuff? Or are they happy with where it's at? I thought they wanted more.
I don't know. I think there's been a very large saturation point with Star Wars. Like, think back to like the 80s and the early 90s when it was just the 3 movies and a few ancillary things. It was like mythic. And then Episode 1 came out, and then like the floodgates opened, and now we have Star Wars on TV and the cartoon and Star Wars in the theaters, and it's just like it gets to the point where it's too much. It's like overkill. Let's take a little break here. Let it rest.
Which is probably easy for me to accept something like that because I'm not like a diehard Star Wars fan. Like I just watched the original trilogy not 2 years ago. So I'm not some diehard for it, but I could see how people could be.
Yeah.
But here's a bombshell. I'm not a Star Wars fan at all.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. He doesn't even like it. Which I was the same way, Nick. I was telling my wife because she had seen it. I was like, I fell asleep like 4 times trying to watch the first one. It did nothing for me. But I went through them and they're not bad, so they're actually pretty entertaining. Yeah. But I can understand why people don't like it.
Oh yeah.
But before we go rambling on, do we want to call it here then? Do we lose Dustin?
No, I'm here. I was pondering your question. I can't think of it. I don't have any more topics, so unless Nick wants to broach a topic.
No, if I have plenty of topics, but if we start one up, we'll be here till 2 a.m. Because I could bring up so many things with Nick. And Dustin, you do have to work, man. We got to think about your sleep.
I know. 4 a.m.
You need to sleep, so
we
just call it here.
Which is 1 a.m. Nick's time, so hey, whatever.
But it was awesome, man, Nick, finally getting you on here. I know we'll get you on again. I know schedules are hectic, and like we said, he's going to be our initial trio, but man, it's already been tough enough just trying for me and Dustin to get our own schedules worked out. So, but it was cool that we it's cool we got you on here, man. I know we'll get you on again sometime soon so we can get into a whole lot more stuff.
Oh, I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, always a pleasure, Nick.
Ballin, Nick. Ballin, Nick. He's ballin', remember?
Yeah. Even though he hates basketball. All right, yes. Are we ready to stop? Okay. We have